We're starting off high.
We can get
I
a
think
two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust a human to raise a pack of wolves?
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
We in this bitch.
We trying to be. My video's still fucking up, but we'll figure it out. So what's going on, man? How's your week?
It was a week.
Another one?
Mm-hmm.
Another one bites the dust?
None of those weeks you have. I had one.
You had one? Just one? Well, that's good. It was just one.
It was just one, as I recall.
Man, I've been, A-Reg has made me watch Encanto.
I have no idea.
Oh my God. It's the latest, like, Disney Pixar joint. It's a lot. It's very musical. There's this song. We don't talk about Bruno, no.
What?
So they've got that song, and then this week on, somebody sent me something on, I think it was TikTok or something, but they were doing, we don't talk about Rona, no. And they did the full song about coronavirus, and the shit was hilarious. Like,
I don't know about that.
Oh man, you missed it. It was solid.
What's the movie about?
So it's about this family that for some reason has, like, every member of the family has a different kind of magical power. It's kind of like the Hispanic version of the Fantastic Four, but in like a more rural setting, maybe a little older generation.
Oh, okay. And who's Bruno?
And Bruno is one of the brothers who his power is basically premonition.
Oh, okay.
And so what happens is he ends up having a premonition that that scares him, and he just disappears. And so people are just like, we don't talk about him anymore because all his premonitions came true and they were all bad shit. And so that's what the whole song's about. And it's really about this girl who's a member of the family who doesn't get a power on, like, her coming of age day. And so, like, the first half of the movie is just explaining that and, like, explaining all of her family's powers, and then she tries to, like, figure out why the magic is fading from the family. And the message in the end is that the grandma is too hard on the grandkids, so we build another soft generation, and that the kids are all stressing themselves out trying to live up to the grandmother's expectations, where they need to do a better job of taking care of themselves. That's the message of the movie. At least that's the message that I got.
Okay.
Would love to hear your thoughts on that, Mr. Jennings.
I don't know. I
think we got enough of that in this world that everybody's too soft and.
I mean, I definitely agree with that sentiment. I don't know how the grandmother being hard on them would make them soft, though.
Right. I think that's a fair statement. I don't know. It's an interesting movie. It's good. It's a good Disney flick in the sense that the songs are fucking catchy as shit. Like the intro song is like na 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 Encanto.
There was a quote that I seen. Well, I guess it was a quote. I don't know. It was a video on World Star, and it was this quote that this dude said his grandpa always used to say, and he said that his grandfather walked 10 miles to work every day. His son walked 10 miles to work every day. So I could have a better life and work hard so my grandkids can have the best life, and then their kids will be walking to work 10 miles a day.
Okay. So, I mean, it will circle back on
right,
itself.
He's basically saying the older generation works hard so the younger generation can get soft. He said hard times breed tough men. Okay. Easy times breed weak men. Weak men. It circled back around to where weak men would breed tougher men
by like necessity? Is that
because the weak men will lose it all.
Okay.
Basically, you know what I mean? The weak men will lose it all because they haven't had the hard times to be tough men, so that their kids will have to be tough again in order to get it all back.
Come back. I mean, that tracks. That's kind of what happens, though, isn't it? Is that weakness breeds... I don't know that weakness breeds strength, though.
Well, I mean, it has to at some point, you know? Or you die off. Either
True.
You die off or you fight back, you know, out of where the hole you're in.
Right.
So if it doesn't, then shit, you're dead.
Right. Well, I guess... by necessity, to your point, yeah, they have to come back stronger. I mean, that's kind of the theory with, like, the mass extinction events, right? Like, that's why they happen, is that the species or the race gets... race meaning, like, the
whatever,
species,
right.
Yeah. And that a mass extinction event happens because the creatures haven't learned to adapt or haven't evolved to adaptation. And so what's left at the end are the ones that are able to adapt and kind of find that strength.
Loch Ness Monster.
That's how the Loch Ness Monster comes back into the conversation.
Yeah. That motherfucker was underwater. It didn't matter how thick the ice was.
He's like, he was close to the core underwater.
Right. I'm cool, baby.
Don't worry about me.
My temperature's already low. Now he just pops up to see what a motherfucker doing every now and again.
What y'all up to?
Right.
Oh, goodness gracious. So you got any inadvertent thoughts to get us going tonight?
I do.
All right, what you got?
I guess I do.
Well, these are always a good start.
Why is mail still a thing?
Like physical mail?
Right.
I mean...
I was just wondering, like...
It's a good question.
Why the fuck do you email me and then send me a hard copy of the same thing that you emailed me?
Yeah.
When you can save a fucking tree.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, I just don't understand, like... Don't get me wrong, certain things have to get mailed out, right? Because you can always say you changed your email, but as long as your address is your address on file,
right,
that supposedly got to you. But I still don't understand why mail is such a fucking thing. Like,
well, I think the big thing is that it's proof of residency. Like, you have to have a physical address to be considered a citizen of that city, that state, that country.
So you have to have mail.
So you have to have a place where you can basically find somebody.
But
to your point, like physical mail, I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, even that place, like, proof of residency could be...
It could be electronic.
Right.
Right, because I can go online. Like, if I have to go get a driver's license, I can go online, print off a statement on my electric bill, and it'll say that I live at that address.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, some of that is because laws haven't caught up to technology. And so there are certain things where it's illegal to not send a hard copy of something.
Yeah.
Like, I know that, and you probably know this in the field you work in, too. Like, I think that's probably part of it. But the flip side is there's something to be said for having something physical in your hand. It's easy to click and delete an email without opening it. You're at least going to notice the fucking mailer that you get, even if you don't, like, open it up.
Sometimes. But I just thought about it, right? Because I emptied my mail today.
How many tax forms do you have in there?
Tax forms?
Right.
I don't know where those.
Like W-2s?
Although I've already got
like, I guess I have a few more because I own property and shit like that.
I have one. That's all I need.
Right, you get your W-2.
But,
I mean, it's not... Yeah. Well, and even anymore, you have to have proof of insurance or whatever, proof of health insurance.
For what?
Taxes. Tax purposes. Because otherwise you get fined for not having it.
But shouldn't that be on your W-2?
Usually it's a separate form. Don't ask me why. I'm not saying it makes sense.
I think mine's on my W-2.
Is it included?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I was just looking at it. But the whole thing with the mail is I probably have 3 years worth of unopened mail. Just sitting in this pile where I just throw the mail.
Well, I mean, you got to throw it out at some point.
I mean, it usually does get thrown out, but I just think to myself, like, I don't care how important it is. Why do people send me shit like I'm gonna read it? I'm not gonna open the envelope.
I know this from personal experience that you can tell Cliff to read something and there's no way he's reading it.
I already have it in my mind. I'm not opening this. I don't care. Unless it's a red, like something's red on it, you know?
Last notice.
Right. You know, it comes
and
from
usually
like
that shit is like,
like
get a new car warranty.
Yeah, no, even that shit. Like, and I know it's not in reference to my rent or nothing, so
right.
I don't give a fuck what this red letter is.
Unless it's, I don't know, electricity, cable, water, gas.
Nah.
You have gas at your place?
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, usually the hot water is.
Yeah, no, none of that.
I think my thing on all that is it's all set to auto pay, so they would send me a notice and I wouldn't even look at it because I'd be like, I'm set up for auto pay.
I just don't get it. Like, what's the mail for?
Again, it's still a marketing tactic in a lot of ways to get you to open shit that you would otherwise ignore. Which is why they do all that, like, open immediately, time sensitive, blah, blah, blah. And it's all bullshit.
Well, they got the wrong guy.
Well, but when you're sending physical mail like that, you're only expecting 1 in 10,000 people to open it.
I guess what makes me so angry about physical mail is that you can't see that I'm not opening it.
you want to be able to see. You want them to be able to see that they're basically just throwing their money in the trash can.
Right, like a text message, like, and you be like, that motherfucker left me unread.
Like oh man, they left my mail on unopened.
All right, yeah, like.
I mean, they do that with emails. They know whether or not you opened it.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. They know whether you opened it. They know whether it made it to your inbox or your spam folder or your promo folder or whatever. They know exactly where all that shit goes.
Who exactly is they?
The company who's running it. Like,
okay.
For example, we used to do business with Epsilon. Epsilon is one of the biggest email marketing agencies in the world. They did, and it's funny, like, I've worked with them in my current role. I worked with them in my previous role in advertising. Like, they have a shit ton of data.
How much data can you get from an unopened email?
From an unopened one, usually not much. I mean, they can see whether it was delivered and what folder it was delivered to. Was it sent to your spam folder or was it sent to your primary inbox?
Right.
Which is why everybody, like, requires you to enter an email address to do fucking anything online.
Oh, that's another fucking thing.
What you got?
My printer stopped working.
Okay.
Because I enrolled into the Instant Ink program. And it's like $5 a month and it tracks your ink levels.
Yeah.
And when they drop, they send you cartridges to your house so you don't have to go to the store and buy them.
All right. Good in theory. So why did it stop working?
So my card expired, and for some reason that bill didn't update. Like, usually all the other bills,
usually
bills just update.
Yeah,
straight
they'll
to
update.
The new card.
They should be able to run. Most places will run a program that basically auto updates when they find an expired card.
So this one did not.
Okay.
And I didn't recognize it because it was only like $5 a month.
Right.
So it suspended my account. And in suspending my account, it blocked my printer.
It bricked your device. That's some shit. That can't be legal. You've got to be able to unenroll it or do something.
I did unenroll today.
Did that fix it?
No. So now I have to call
HP or whoever.
Yeah.
I used to work on the HP account. That does not surprise me.
Yeah, no, I hate them. I'll never get another HP anything.
The problem is that they're the most fucking affordable printers that are out there.
I don't care what it is. I'll pay double. I'll
them and
never buy another HP anything.
No. I say that and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this desktop is HP.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty sure my laptop is HP. No. Pretty sure my work computer's an HP.
I was thinking about just.
That's not true. My laptop downstairs is a Toshiba.
Matter of fact, I think I might check my warranty and see if it will give me my money back.
On the printer?
Uh-huh. I might accidentally punch it when I get home.
Is this the one you use for, like, shirts and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So it's printing on the transfer
anything,
paper.
Right.
It's hurting your money. It's hurting your income.
Right.
Secondary
because
income.
of a fucking... And then it's a luxury bill, right? And the whole thing about it was you got 3 or 5 months free. I printed everything in advance except for custom orders.
Yeah.
So I have a plastic folder full of sheets, like Dufo's Agreed designs, Hit the Showers design, shit like that. So technically, I haven't even used it since my free fucking months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you haven't sent me anything.
Yeah.
So how could you stop my fucking printer from working if you haven't? At this point, it's starting to feel like insurance.
Oh, no, that's exactly. I mean, that's why they do it. Because their philosophy is that most people, not everybody, you would actually probably be an exception to it, so it probably is worth it for you. But most people don't use their printers enough for that to really matter.
Right.
Like, I certainly don't. Shit, my ink goes dry before I've used it.
Right. And that's what I think I ran into the last time with this. But yeah, no, like, I don't give a fuck. I'll pay the $80 to get the new cartridges every trip if that's what it takes.
Right.
But I don't want anybody to be able to monitor my shit to stop me from doing...
To basically be able to brick your device.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That shit's crazy to me. I don't know.
I don't know. I got nothing for you on that.
Fucking mail and technology.
That sounds about right.
Wish somebody would brick their fucking printers.
Just HP just goes down on the whole.
Man, why the fuck didn't USPS run out off of HP? Wish their fucking card would get expired.
Oh, man. Well, I don't think I really have any inadvertence. Nor do I have any good updates on anything.
No updates?
No updates.
No new shows you've been watching or anything like that?
No, I mean, Boba Fett had its finale, and it was fucking phenomenal. It was good. Yeah. Everything you could want to see in it, you saw. So that's
tits.
Good. It went very Western at the end. Like, this episode was like the final showdown in a Western. And so it was pretty much the entire episode was like one big gunfight.
No tits.
No tits, though. It's Disney. Come on, man. Disney Plus ain't gonna be. If Disney is going to produce something like that, it's going to be on Hulu, and it's probably going to be under the Fox brand.
Nazi tits.
There you go.
Hugo Boss. Covered tits.
Probably something closer to that.
What have I been watching? Oh, Richard and Mortimer dropped a new season.
Oh, Rick and Morty did?
Uh-huh.
I didn't get into that show. Like, I know I've watched like a season of it, but it's not something I like seek out. Is this season live up to the previous season?
It's pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. There's some I definitely laughed out loud a few times, and there was definitely some things where my jaw was dropped. Like, I can't believe they said that shit. That's definitely not a show for kids.
Rick and Morty? No.
It's definitely not a children's show.
It's definitely on that Adult Swim tip.
Listen.
I mean, neither is South Park or Family Guy. Like.
That shit is just... Well, I guess that falls in the same category, in a way. Yeah, I guess so. Shit.
Right? I mean, South Park was probably the first one to take it to that level.
Yeah, it probably was.
People would say Simpsons, but Simpsons wasn't quite as outlandish.
I would say Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good call.
They got pretty wild.
And Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I never watched that. Wasn't a big Cartoon Network guy.
Me either. I mean, that was part of the reason why I missed out on Family Guy until the resurgence when Fox brought it back.
Right. Yeah, it's probably about me too. You know.
Same thing with like South Park. Like, I didn't get into South Park till almost the end of college.
I mean, I watched it a little bit when it first came out because, like I said, I like basketball and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were the ones that made
it. Trey.
I just, I can't get into it.
South Park, like, I don't know. Like, these days, I'm kind of falling back out because it's gotten a little too satirical and a little too preachy. There was a solid, 8 seasons in the middle that I'm like, is fucking hilarious.
I think the only reason why I liked it as a kid is, the shock value.
Yeah.
Because it was
swearing on cable TV.
Wasn't
there one episode where they, said shit, 38 times or some bullshit in 30 minutes?
Something like that. I do remember something like that. But were they really cussing on TV?
Oh, I'm sure it was bleeped still, but... Actually, I thought that was the whole thing with shit, was that basically... Whatever ad council had come out and said, certain swear words were okay, and so they took it to that, nth level with it.
Right.
Like, you can get away with saying it once on an episode or whatever, and outside of that, it's like the same thing with PG-13. You could drop one F-bomb, that's it.
Is that right?
Any more than one F-bomb, it becomes rated R.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. It's dumb shit like that, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my podcast would be rated X.
Right? No doubt.
Because you could probably count the fucks, the motherfuckers, all that. It's probably at least 20 per episode. I'm going to split it down the little middle. It's probably 10 fucks and 10 motherfuckers per episode.
That's probably spot on. Which is also why...
And I think we're already at 7.
Which is also why I got to talk to you about another show on the network that may no longer be on the network.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about trying to take it legit, and I'm like, well, fuck you, dude. No, I told him do his thing. And I'm like,
I get that.
I actually told him what he should do is start a separate podcast and keep one show on the network and keep that other one separate. But we'll see. We'll see what he decides. So we may have room on the network if anybody's got a show idea. What was it you were trying to go live with the other night that wasn't Hit the Showers?
It was.
Oh, were you guys just on an off night?
Yeah, it was. It just
gotcha.
The shit didn't work.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to check that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ours looks like it's live, and we got people in the chat. What up, Don? What up, Mom?
Down in there.
Reeds. Don in the Reeds.
What are we talking about?
Miscellaneous shows.
Oh, have you seen that? What's her name? What's it called?
I hate it when you do this. That one show with that one guy.
On Netflix. Japanese show or whatever.
No.
We're All Dead or something like that.
I have not.
That's pretty good, actually.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's a zombie. You know, your stereotypical zombie show. Well, not stereotypical because you know them. I don't want to falsely categorize, but I also don't want to say Asians as a whole. Because it's specific ones that be on some ill shit. Like they fellas be on some ill shit. And this is one of them ill shit joints.
Okay. In what manner?
Yeah, it's a zombie movie. But it starts in a high school.
Okay.
So it's like the science teacher has a son. And the son was getting bullied, like, to the point that he, like, tried to commit suicide multiple times. Damn. So he tried to come up with, like, he was, like, you know, playing with, like, genetic shit and all that. And he tried to come up with something that would make him stronger.
Okay.
But it ended up attacking his...
classmates?
It ended up attacking his, like, good shit, like his white blood cells, all the bullshit, and that's eventually how
it becomes
the
zombie.
virus, right? And then he bites a motherfucker. I can't remember if he bites somebody. Something happens to where it gets spread. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, he doesn't bite anybody. A rat. He starts experimenting on a rat to try to save the boy.
Oh, okay.
Because he notices that he's turning type shit. So he starts experimenting on a rat to try to save him. So the rat's, of course, infected. And he has the rat at the school. And one of the, like, helpers or whatever, like, sees it and it bites the helper.
Gotcha.
And then that's how it starts to spread.
Okay.
But it's wild. Like, of course it's in a high school, so like you can only imagine what the not even the climax, but you know the height of the shit is. Like the whole high school started going crazy, so it's like it was nowhere for those kids to go.
Yeah.
Like if you weren't smart, like thinking in that situation, you're dead. it's a factor there. There's too many kids everywhere.
Right. Are they like trapped in the high school?
Yeah, like it's like on a campus. Like you can get outside.
Gotcha.
But in a sense, outside was more dangerous than inside.
How so?
Because outside was like the courtyard and this shit. Inside it was kind of what's the word I'm thinking? It was closed off.
Okay, so like,
you know what
there
I mean?
were
Like,
places where you could
room
hide
by
or whatever.
Room,
okay.
Right. Like, so it may not have hit in this room.
Gotcha.
This room may be full of people that are all okay, and then the next room over,
till one of those rats find their way
in. Well, no, the rat was in the cage the whole time. Okay. It was just if that one little bitch didn't get bit by the rat, it'd have been good.
This is why we don't talk about Rona. No.
They don't know Rona down like that, baby. I don't know Rona that. Listen, it was close to having motherfuckers acting like a zombie apocalypse.
No shit.
Wasn't quite didn't have enough chops in it.
Speaking of Rona and people acting like it's the zombie apocalypse, I should have done this earlier. I bought a Hello Tushy. Speaking of gadgets that white people spend their money on,
so yeah,
it's fantastic.
Paper. But
it's fantastic.
You still gotta wipe though, don't you?
You do.
So it's like,
but it's less. Use less.
I'm sure.
And plus, it just feels better. It feels clean.
I couldn't deal with a wet ass.
But that's why you wipe.
Even still.
It's just to dry it. I'm telling you, man, try it once. You might change it. You might change your mind. I'm telling you, try it. You might change your mind. You mean tell you who's obsessed with it?
Who?
My 6-year-old. He walked in the door on Thursday. He's like, Dad, I'm going to go use the Hello Tushy. He ran upstairs.
He didn't even shit. He was just sitting there.
Like, psh, ah.
Nah.
I think it's great for young kids because, half the time they don't wipe well anyway.
Right. Now that does make sense right there.
Nothing worse than an itchy asshole.
Yeah, and I mean, like, shit. Like, don't get me wrong. It seems like the older you get, the more asshole you have to wipe.
Like it's growing.
Right. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like, God damn, I gotta use a lot more toilet paper than I remember using back in the day just to make sure my shit is squeaky.
Right.
You know?
I mean, nothing worse than... Never mind.
Right. Listen. God forbid you don't wipe right, your asshole be itching. Nah.
Oh, man.
Shit,
Nobody wants an itchy asshole.
Listen.
Yeah. I got...
Yeah, I don't know, man. Shit, maybe the tushy is the way to go.
I'm telling you, man. Like, use it once. It'll change your life.
Nah, gee, I don't know.
What are other dumb inventions that you thought you could ignore and then you used and you were like, I can't believe I lived without this?
A lighter leash is always a good one.
Oh, like the pull string?
Those are always good ones because you do, people will get you.
They will walk off with them, I agree.
Mm-hmm. I've had somebody put the lighter in their pocket on the leash.
And then they tried to walk away.
About it. Like, oh, my fault. Like, motherfucker, that's still on my...
It's still mine.
Right. You didn't even pull it out first. You just put it in your pocket.
Which is gone. Air fryer.
Air fryer is... I just used my air fryer today, actually. Air fryer is definitely one of them. Yeah, I fell in love with that after I actually...
Once you actually cook food in it and not just like garbage food in it, you realize it's a pretty solid device.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally got chicken to like not be dry in it, I was sold.
Well, why was it dry? You were overcooking it?
Yeah. Just finding the right temp and the right time. And, overdoing it because want to make sure and I'm trying to think if there's other devices like that. I mean, not something that I bought, but something that came with my most recent car, like the auto starter. Being able to start it from my phone and have it be warm when I get in there. Especially since I went from having a garage to not having a garage again.
Let me think. That's an interesting question. I know there's more.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure if I were to just walk through the house, I'd see something too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to do. Think of shit like that I use specifically, but...
I mean, the other one that I love, and they're expensive, but I think it's worth it because I haven't had to sweep or mop the floor but twice since I moved back. Yeah, the Roomba. And if I ever see the price drop on them, I'll get one that does like the broom and the mop.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I don't like sweeping or mopping. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's the only thing that I do downstairs is that thing is set to run 3 times a week and it handles the business. And it did when we had pets too, man. Like picking up all that fucking cat hair and shit on the floors at the old house. The only time I ever ran into a problem the one time was Louis shit on the floor and it ran through it and got all over the place.
That's so fucking disgusting.
Oh, it was awful. It was so awful.
I wouldn't even...
No, you know what the worst part about it was? Is this shit happened the day that we were leaving to go to New York for camping. And I came back in with my arms fucking loaded with groceries. Barely got the door open, and I step into the house, and I'm like, motherfucker. Because I could smell it the minute I opened the door.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
So maybe take that one off the list.
But I'm not... I wouldn't have a dog.
Yeah.
I'm throwing the dog away with that.
If it weren't my dog, that might have been the case.
My dog or not. If I'm cleaning all this shit up, you're going in this bag with everything else into the trash can.
All the wipes, everything.
The fuck? I don't give a fuck how Peter feels about it, motherfucker. Come get this dog before it suffocates in that goddamn bag. The fuck? It's going in the trash. I don't care what kind of bond we had. I don't want you anymore.
I'm done. I'm done. Game over.
And I'm not about to set you free for you to be able to shit in somebody else's Roomba.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, man. Well, we want to get into this main topic.
Are we getting into it?
I mean, you tell me. What are we doing?
Let's get into it. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I think it is.
Let's get into it.
All right, hold on. I want to do a little something. So you want to introduce the topic and we talk through it real quick and then we'll get it going.
I mean, ain't no topic. It's just we
just talking again.
We asking some questions
and asking each other some questions.
Right, a little interview action. Let me throw on my glasses.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. They're not prescriptions.
All right. Sorry, I am messing with something real quick because I think I'm going to use this for...
Use what?
Our next intro video. But, Mr. Jennings, what do you got? Actually, you know what? I would like to start us off.
Okay.
And the way I want to start this off again, because what I'm thinking is I want to clip this out. I want to clip this out and make this like a intro to the network kind of thing.
As far as what?
So, what I want you to do
is
I want you to kind of job interview style. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Mr. Jordan Jennings. Oh. Let's hear it from your own words to start off with.
Well, I've never really been the guy to talk about my dick. So much as I'm just the guy to pull it out and lay it on the table.
Just pull it out.
You know, so. I don't know what I can tell you about myself.
Well,
I'm
putting you on the spot, sir.
I mean, shit, like, I don't know, I bullshit. That's all you need to know about me. I bullshit.
Where are you from?
I'm from the land of bullshitters.
Indeed.
And that's why I'm so good with my bullshit.
I like that we have Professor Jennings in the building today. This is good. This is a good way to start.
I don't always wear glasses, but when I do...
He looks 10 times smarter.
I prefer Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. Hooray, beer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a fucking...
I'm just a guy in front of another guy on a podcast.
Doing my thing.
All right. There you go.
I don't know what the fuck you need to know about me. How about listen to the questions and maybe you may learn something.
All right.
Were you starting off with the questions? Or
I said you can start off with the questions. I was just trying to get us a little bit of extra footage here and there.
Oh, well, you wasn't going to get...
I'm working on B-roll while we're doing this.
You motherfucking corporate America. You tell me about your motherfucking self.
I mean, I can do that, I guess.
In non-job interview format. How about that?
Non-job. Oh, man. All right, give me one. All right. What up, fools?
Don't try to stop the motherfucking video on your turn.
Hey, man, I'm just flipping back to myself so I could give myself a little bit of an introduction.
Okay.
So allow me to reintroduce myself. That song gets me every time, man. My name is H to the O-V. Anyways. I don't know. Why do people tune into us?
This is your...
This is my question?
The fuck? You trying to put me on the spot, G? Tell me about your motherfucking self.
So in non-job interview format, I am Michael Reggie, born and raised Columbus, Ohio. Here on the Near East Side, home to the Citadel Studios. Grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, went to school on the right. Played a little ball, went to college, did the same. And then I sold my soul to the devil in corporate America.
I think that was still job interview.
Oh, was that still job interview
format? You know how to get out of it.
You're probably right. Immediately went into work mode and like, this is how I'm going to handle this.
Introducing yourself like you had a new hire in the building.
Well, you know. All right, let's see what you got, sir.
I just got a couple questions here.
What you got for me?
Trying to think of where to start.
Start from the very beginning.
Right, I guess we'll run it down the top. I don't know if there's any specific order of this. What's your favorite movie, Mr. Reggie?
Favorite movie? If I had to pick one,
give me two.
Give you two. So, all right. How about I give you a series in a movie?
Oh Lord.
You want me to give you just two movies?
What series? Star Wars?
Star Wars has got to be up there, the original trilogy.
Okay, we'll come.
I mean, obviously, like, we getting the new ink filled in. It's finally starting to come together. I'm working on it.
You got that Zulu shield on your
That
wall?
Zulu shield. Starting to get my yin-yang vibe with it. No, Star Wars is definitely up there. It's a philosophy. It's mythology. It's the only modern myth we have.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to put it.
And I think we've talked about it before, like the hero's journey myth of, the person who becomes orphaned is the one. Like, you see it in all sorts of shit. You see it, Harry Potter's kind of the same way. Meets his mystical wizard advisor, wizard in the forest. Grows on, becomes a master in something, vanquishes evil at the end.
I didn't even have to ask you that. What's the second?
Braveheart.
Okay.
Braveheart's got just a great balance of drama and action. Like, and it's got emotion. It's got an emotional punch. Like, the whole hook behind the, whole reason he rose up was because they killed his wife. And he went batshit and said, I'm going to murder everybody. Like the scene where they're in the small council meeting, you just see the blood drip from the floor and then the body falls from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even talking about the fact that it gave us one of the best movie speeches of all time. William Wallace is 7 foot tall. Aye. And if he were here, he'd consume the English with balls of fire from his eyes and bolts of lightning from his arse. I am William Wallace. And of course, that was before Mel Gibson went all Mel Gibson-y.
I think that's the second time
before we knew about it
that you gave us that speech.
It probably was. It's probably the second time you've asked that question.
Could be.
What about you, Mr. Jennings? What's your favorite movie?
Oh, mine is always going to be 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300. 300's the one.
All right.
I can still watch 300 front to back, and I've seen it no less than 1,000 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of another that would come close to that.
All right. I got one for you.
Okay.
What's one thing that you wish you did more of when you were younger?
That's a good question. One thing I wish I did more of. That's a good fucking question, right? Because it wouldn't be like the answer that you would expect. Like, I'm not gonna say like schoolwork or.
We ain't come here to play school.
All right, it's not. I don't. Yeah, I think if I got a chance to do life all over again, I would have gotten the same grades.
That's fair.
And I think that that's just because, like we've talked about in previous podcasts, I'm not interested in that whole dynamic.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't do it. It just, I know what this means, and you just want me to learn this to get that piece of paper.
Right.
And that piece of paper essentially gives you my value or worth to you in the world you want me to live in.
Right.
And I don't really care.
You don't give
to
a fuck.
Prove myself to any. Like, of course, I would get my diploma again because you need it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, well, I would have gone to college or, no.
That's not you.
No, I still probably wouldn't did that. I probably would have put more. Probably would have put more effort into. See, the first thing that popped into my mind would have been I'd have trained more. I'd have trained harder.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, like, But if you still have the roadblocks of not being able to do it until you're an adult, would you still train as hard?
And could you do what Venus and Serena did, which was go off the amateur or the youth circuit until you were ready to basically go pro?
Right. Because, I mean, that's the situation where Mom wasn't having that shit. So if I was doing that, I would have had to been 18. So essentially,
you would have had to train for years without actual fights or combat.
Without an actual record.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I don't understand. You'll let me spar, but you won't let me fight, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, right? So what's the difference? But the whole issue is not that I could be the best by the time you turn 18. You're still not known.
Right.
You never nobody's seen you do anything, so you're still starting from zero. So that's why I still say I don't know if that would be the case either, because I don't know what I would do more of. That's a good fucking question. And I feel like I can't just not answer it.
It kind of kills the vibe of the show.
Right. What would I do more of as a child? Beat my meat. Beat my meat more.
Ridiculous. Is that possible?
Yeah, beat my meat more. As a kid.
Oh, man.
I don't fucking know. What about you? I know you asked that with your own in mind.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not have time to prepare, so I'm pulling from an interview deck. So I have not had time to think about it, but I am flipping through. Like, I'm not just reading them off one by one. Like, I'm flipping through them.
What fucking kind of question do you have for me in an interview deck?
No, that one. You just told me that was a good fucking question. I'm not just picking, like, all of the questions, Cliff. I'm flipping. There's, like, 300 options, and I'm swiping through. So, while you were talking, I was thinking about my answer. I think my answer is I'd put myself out there more. Like, I was pretty reserved growing up, and even in college. Like, yeah, I went out in college, but, like, it was only with a very select group of people. Mm-hmm. And you know me, like, I'm the one that's going to surround myself with, like, 3 or 4 people, and those are the only motherfuckers I'm going to hang out with. Right. And, yeah, and if they go somewhere and it's with more people, great, I'll go with them. But, like, I'm not one to kind of put myself out there on my own.
Right.
And so, I think if I were to answer that question, it would be, like, figure out or try to put myself out there kind of more on my own and establish myself as, like, my own individual instead of being, you know, attached to a certain group or
do you
whatever.
Feel like you do that now?
No, absolutely fucking not. Which is why I think if I had done that more when I was younger, maybe I'd be more comfortable with it now.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, do you feel like you put yourself out there more now?
I would say in the last, basically since I separated, probably more so.
Because, I mean, and I'm not even saying from a standpoint of the opposite sex.
You're just talking about generally speaking.
Because think about it, 20 years from now, you're going to be thinking 36 was younger.
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't I do it then?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. And it's probably a good call. And I will probably hide behind the answer of, you know, especially right now, like,
fuck COVID.
No, nothing to do with COVID. My free time, and it'll be different in a month when the custody schedule changes, but, like, I don't have weekends to myself. And, like, I am not the type that's going to go out kind of during the week.
Right, that's the toughest
thing. Should I, like, try to find, like, something rec league to get into? Something, like, that's part of the reason why, like, I'm trying to, you know, go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Right. But, like, should I be doing some sort of, I don't know, like, and I don't mean it I don't mean it the way it's going to sound, but like some kind of like social club or rec league something or do something.
Right. No,
but it's hard. It's hard when you don't have the weekends. And even when I get weekends, it's only going to be every other weekend.
Right. Yeah, that's the difficult thing about being a separated parent, because especially as a father, because your time is always only going to be weekend time.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, like, it's not like Andrew's not interested in similar shit as you.
No, and I think that that's a good call. And what I need to be careful of is, like, I am starting to see, as much as I joke about him and his personality being like his mom and being very outgoing, he's very outgoing with his 3 or 4 friends.
Right. And
like when I try to get him to do something new or something uncomfortable, like on the weekends, he's not all about it. And honestly, I don't feel like fighting him on it because that's my time with him.
Right.
And so it's again trying to find that balance. Like sports, for example, I will always be able to take him out to like a sporting event or go do something and like watch something. Right. Or his sports. Like his sports are his way to kind of do that kind of stuff. And it was my way too. Like that was my most social activity, was going out and playing football, being on the track team, wrestling, whatever the case was.
I mean, that always is going to be the case.
Right. So like I find it through that. And with him,
if you do those things, you don't even have to be social, and you end up being put in positions where you have to be social.
No, I agree. And I mean, like, even in the last 2 years, and yes, it's with family, but it's extended family, like going and playing D&D on the weekend, like doing something to get out of the house and go be with people that I don't see every day or talk to every day. Mm-hmm. So, like that.
That's a good answer.
And maybe it would have led to me beating my meat less.
So maybe I just needed more time to myself.
Maybe that was it. All right. Back to you, sir.
Back to me? Okay. I don't have an interview catalog.
Well, you thought about it. I'm sorry, I did not. Today was actually busier than I expected.
I'm going to ask you a question that I don't care about
what the answer is.
To, so I can run to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But this is for the fans as well. So, what's your favorite trait about yourself?
Favorite trait about myself? Well, the go-to answer on the apps is always my eyes. It's my eyes, my baby blues. Thanks, Mom.
Yourself, fucker. Not them.
No, that's my favorite trait about myself is my baby blue eyes. The force lies strong in them. I was joking about that with my mom and Andrew last weekend. Was we all have the same eyes, so that's the go-to answer. And I'll give a shout out to Reeds out in the chat. Thinking about it, I think my real answer there from like a personality trait standpoint is, and it's really the same reason behind like wanting the tattoo that I got and the Prime Jedi tattoo that I've got on my left arm, which is really about finding balance between really serenity and passion, the light and the dark. And I think that when it comes down to my best traits, one of my best traits, hey, Cliff just used the Hello Tushy, and he's like, that is amazing. But when it comes down to that, it's, the fact that I can be a very calming force in uncomfortable situations. And then on top of that, like, I can also get very passionate about something. I can get excited that, that love for, that's one of the things with like football. I can be equal parts, calm and coach, and equal parts running up and down the sidelines with everybody else when that shit happens or when something big happens. So, is that what the laugh was? Were you using the try the Hello Tushy?
I ain't playing with no toilet toys. I ain't playing with no motherfucking toilet toys. But I saw them dude wipes next to that bitch. I said, yeah, you need them with that motherfucker right there.
So
you can't dry yourself off with regular toilet paper after you use the tushy, or you're gonna have balled up toilet paper all through your shit.
Oh man. So taking that question back to yourself, sir. What's your favorite trait about yourself? Besides your bullshitting ability.
Yeah, that's up there. My favorite trait about myself? You talking...
I mean, you're the one that asked the question. You tell me what we talking.
Well, I mean, you're countering, you know? So
I took it from like a physical trait, obviously joking with the eyes, to like personality trait.
Okay. Physically...
It's his eyes too. I heard the lifeguard tell him when we were 8 at Wyandotte Lake.
That don't have nothing to do with me. Like I always tell them, you can have them if you want them.
Your eyes? Just take them out?
I don't need them. But I would say physically.
Yeah, what you got?
It's hard when you can't just lay it on the table. Right?
That's true. So is it just your dick?
You can't just lay it on the table. It's hard when your best trait is something that you can't just lay on the table. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. What do I like the most about myself? I just like myself.
Just all of it.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I just like myself. If I were to name off everything I liked about myself, you'd just be like, you like yourself, huh? Yeah, I like myself. You know? So I can't think favorite. I like my dick. Shit. I don't know. If I'm being, but like trait, like personality trait, it's gonna sound crazy, but I think I like my cynicism.
Okay.
Because it keeps me on my alert. You know, like even when most would say or feel as if they don't need to be, I always am looking out for the opening. You know, like it's almost like, I don't know, what could I equate it to? It's almost like, yeah, I don't know what else I could equate it to, but boxing, like, it's almost like you fucked up.
Yeah.
But somebody didn't make you pay for it. So you noticed you fucked up. Like, oh shit, I could have got fucked up right there. But just the alert of knowing when I don't know. I wouldn't quite say, I almost use the word like when you're vulnerable, because I don't think it's a vulnerable thing. I just think that people think that you could be vulnerable at times, and that's when they make their move, right? You know what I mean? And it's never you that feels that way when that takes place, right? Because that's why you get lulled into that false sense of, you know. So you're not thinking that you're vulnerable, but they're looking at your vulnerabilities as they take advantage. So it's like you still have to have that slight cynicism in you to be like, but what's your motive though?
Right.
What's your move behind this? Why is this happening?
Why are you putting the pieces in this place?
Right, because I see it coming. I see what this could lead to. I just don't know what kind of person you are to know where to.
All right.
And I think that cynicism that I say that I like about myself is kind of like a block, like a goalie almost. Like, well, wait a minute, watch. That makes you feel a little uncomfortable there. Don't let that
Guard
motherfucker.
Up. Yeah. All right.
You know, I would say that.
Okay.
But mostly my dick.
But mostly.
All right, interview me, motherfucker. You fucking
cheater.
VP.
You can call me a cheater. It's fine. What's the last thing you've done that you were proud of?
Beat my meat. Nah, I'm just playing.
I'm gonna run this back, and we're gonna count how many times Cliff said beat his meat.
the meat beating counter. That's another one, right? Because achieving accomplishments and being proud of something are two different things.
Okay, so what would you? I mean, you could answer that one either way then. Like, what's something that you've accomplished recently, or you feel like you've accomplished recently?
I mean, that whole job situation, of course.
Yeah, speaking of that, did you hear back? Did you get it?
Of course. We already discussed that.
Well, we knew it happened on Monday, but I just wanted to validate that it happened on Monday. And make sure it wasn't Tuesday or something.
Are you calling me a liar?
No, I wanted to make sure what day it happened.
I told you Friday. It happened Monday. It happened Monday, Friday.
Good shit, man.
You know?
Did you take it?
Yeah, I took it.
Good. Congrats.
But I don't know if that's like something that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? Like,
no, because you felt like you had it in the bag, and I get
not
that.
even that. Like, I don't. If I'm being honest, I didn't give a fuck either way.
Yeah.
And that's usually, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. This is probably the bad trait, right? You know how kids learn that, like, at an early age, how to manipulate, like how they can manipulate.
Absolutely.
And by no means am I saying I am a manipulator.
But you knew what they were looking for, and you knew how to go after.
Not even, like, I've just learned throughout life the not giving a fuck works a lot more than it doesn't.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to women, jobs, whatever the case may be, when people see that it's like, oh, but he doesn't need this.
Right.
I feel like it almost makes them feel like you're taking away their power of the decision.
Oh, no doubt, because it becomes he doesn't need this, but we need him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like the table.
I would joke and say something about the apps, but I know people listen, so I won't say that.
Listen, but that's the number one thing with women. Women can't understand why you won't.
Why you don't want them?
Right.
Or why you don't need them?
Won't make a move, or, like, well, if you find me attractive and you would, why don't you? Well,
right.
Because
I don't need to.
And I don't want to.
Right.
Like, I don't want that. I don't want that right now. I know. Just you asking me that question
actually makes me want it less.
To me that's what I don't want.
Amen.
And then you end up rolling over. That's how that works.
So if it's not the job, that means you didn't answer the question. Always trying to duck the question. Like, I don't catch him doing this shit. He thinks he's slick.
I'm not. I just have more important things to talk about. Last thing I was proud of.
Or something that you felt was an accomplishment. Since you wanted to make that distinction.
I mean, the job, like I said, was an accomplishment.
All right.
But yeah, I wouldn't say it makes me proud. Because I'm still in a position I don't want to be in. Right?
I hear you.
It's just a better position.
It's a better position than you were in. Yeah. You want to be in it.
No, I don't want to be in it at all.
I was trying to think of the way to phrase it. Like,
there's no way I don't want to be in it at all.
You want to be in it more than the one you were previously in.
I don't even know yet if that's true.
That's fair. You don't know until you do it.
Right? And that may be, back to the previous question, that may be that level of cynicism that's like, well, don't think this is going to be the world just yet, motherfucker. There's a reason why they pay you more to do this.
Right.
So, yeah, no. I mean, I'm proud of the consistency that we've been having with the podcast.
I agree with that, and that's where I thought you would go.
Yeah, I would say that. I'm proud of the consistency.
You proud of the product?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, that's really what all this comes down to.
I would say so. I mean, there's always room for improvements, and there always will be.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely proud of the product.
Good.
Yeah, I would say that. All right. Next one. Favorite 80s rock song?
Stan Bush, The Touch, from the Transformers cartoon movie.
I have no idea.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Oh, I think I know what that is. And, it's amazing that you were kind of on that.
Always. That will always be my answer to that question.
Listen, okay.
In fact, when they brought it back in Bumblebee, like right as she's about to do her, like they're doing a flashback to like, you know, her at some major like swimming and diving competition, and that song plays in the background, I just slow clap.
Okay.
What about you? What's your favorite 80s power ballad?
It's not a power ballad. I gotta go. What's his name? Paul Ingman. Push It to the Limit.
Okay. That's a strong candidate. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's number one.
And you can go stereotypical with Walk This Way. With Run DMC.
In Aerosmith? No.
Did it in the middle and it did it like it just don't care.
No. I mean, unpopular opinion, I'm not even a fan of that song.
No.
And I like both of them. I just don't like the song.
Speaking of music, how lit is this fucking halftime show gonna be?
Oh,
dude,
Dr. Dre now.
So many. I've seen so many good memes, like parents in their 30s, like parents of young children in their 30s, or parents who are in their 30s of like young children. The kid's about to find out who mom and dad really are. Da-ba-da-ba-da.
I just don't
It's
know.
the motherfucking D.R.E. Dr. Dre, motherfucker.
I don't know if that is the best Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, man. You think they'll do next episode?
Like, hey. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. We on unpopular opinions.
Oh, you're not a fan of the halftime show either?
Maroon 5 will probably have a liver halftime
show. You just hurt my soul.
I think I'm willing to put money on it. Maroon 5.
I mean, this group will definitely do better than The Weeknd, right? Last year.
The Weeknd was shit, right? Like, and I'm not saying
I don't even remember Maroon 5.
He makes decent music.
He does.
But that's not something that's tied to football. Performer. Like, same with Dr. Dre and Snoop and them. That's not a halftime show performance. They're going to be all old and stiff on the stage.
You're probably right.
Rapping their lyrics. Like, that's enough. When Beyonce was out there with the whole fucking Black Pride Army stomping in the middle of the fucking field. Like, nah. Like, I'm cool on Snoop and Dre as a halftime performance. I almost feel like that was a reach by the NFL to try to get niggas back watching.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre, is that dope?
Because they're probably like, our numbers haven't been looking good since that old Kaepernick shit.
Not to mention Gruden.
Let's get Snoop and Dr. Dre in here to get the old...
We got to get these apes back watching again.
Listen. You know how they... Listen.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not with the halfie.
All right.
I bet the Super Bowl commercials top the halftime show.
You think?
I'm willing to bet. Okay. Wait, was that my question or yours?
I think it was yours.
What was it? The song?
I think it started off with the song, okay. Yeah.
So it's on you, interviewer.
What's something about a person that makes you instantly not like them?
Teeth.
Teeth?
Right. Yeah, teeth.
I don't know. I've seen some of your people with fucked up teeth, man.
Teeth.
All right. I mean, I think hygiene in general is probably up there.
Well, that's why teeth, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like your mouth, like you gotta take care of your mouth every day.
Yeah. That's a fair answer. We do have a suggestion in the chat, by the way.
What?
About a friendly wager about what beat drops to open the halftime show. Nothing but a G thing, baby.
No.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's exactly where they're going. 1, 2, 3 into the 4.
No.
Guaranteed.
If they do, no. You guarantee it?
Guaranteed.
Okay.
Put a 6-pack on it. You're gonna have to find my non-alcoholic shit, but they sell the Heine Zeros at Kroger.
Definitely not. It's gonna be still DRE.
You think?
Yeah, cause G thing is too old.
It's too old. I don't know, man. It's not that much older than DRE. It is, but it's not that much. It's definitely what introduced the whole white crowd to Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, still DRE.
All right. Let it so it shall be written. Nothing but a G thing versus still DRE.
Yeah, that's what's happening. It don't matter. They still ain't top of Maroon 5.
Okay.
Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, you answered it. It was teeth.
Yeah, that was a joke, but then I thought about it like...
Oh, do you have a better answer now? You've been with these snap answers, so I'm struggling to figure out like
or smell.
I think that well, I don't know.
I don't care how nice, how whatever you are. If you stink, I don't like you.
See, here's where I have a different opinion on that, and it's just because of my line of work. Because we have a fair amount of international folks, especially in the technology space.
It means nothing to me. I don't care where you're from. If you stink,
it's different.
I don't like. And I'm not saying I don't like you like I'm going to be mean to you. I mean, I don't like you like I'm not going to be around you.
Well, yeah, I get that.
Like I'm like
you're somebody that I'm going to pick up the phone and call versus walk down
right? I'll say hi, bye,
bye.
But we're not going to stand and hold a conversation because you stink.
Right. I hear you. Okay.
And I feel like teeth go into that because it's like your breath.
Yeah.
Why would you think that I would want to talk to you if your breath is bad?
I hear you.
And if your teeth are bad, 10 times out of 10 your breath is bad. What if you accidentally spit on me?
You got the Rona. But we don't talk about Rona.
It ain't even about that. Fuck, like, I don't know what kind of saliva you got. Yep. I'm sticking to it.
All right, there you go.
What answer were you looking for? I know you got a different one.
No, I wasn't looking for an answer from you, but mine for that is probably... Mine isn't something that I think is something you know immediately, but it's something you can pick up on pretty quickly. If every time you talk to this person, they're bitching about somebody else, it's like, no, you need to realize you're the fucking problem. That's something that makes me instantly not like somebody. And again, you got to think most of my interactions with adult humans are work related, right? So outside of you, it's pretty much like work shit. And that is one of those things, like, if somebody is always blaming someone else, it shows me they have zero accountability, or they feel like they have zero accountability to their own behavior.
From that standpoint, I guess mine would be like, I guess like I don't.
That in a Patriots jersey. Fuck you, Caleb.
That might be on my list as well. That might be on my list as well. I don't think I like bullshitters. I don't like people.
Hey Cliff, I'd like to introduce you to somebody.
Well, see, that's where.
Where's a mirror? Do we have a mirror up here?
Well, that's where I think that you have me incorrect, because the ability to bullshit and being a bullshitter are two different
That's
things.
fair. That's fair.
Because one thing you will not be able to ever do is poke a hole in my story, because I research before I feel strongly
about it one way or the other.
Right. So if you hear me talking about it, it's not going to come from just me talking about it. I've looked into something about it.
Gotcha. That's fair. But no, I know what you mean. Like, the person who, like, always is up to their next scheme or whatever.
Not even really that. It's just like when I hear you talk, and if you say some shit where it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah. And I can tell that you don't just by the way you're talking about it.
Gotcha.
That automatically makes me feel like I'm not dealing with this person, because like you're not even trying to make sure you sound okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, like, I completely know what you mean. Because
it's like people that start talking before they think about what they want to talk about, and it's like, I'm done with you, because you're just going on. You're not even getting to what I thought the
point of this was, right?
So I'm done immediately. Like, that's like that's the bullshitter I'm talking about. Where it's like, nah, I don't got time for that. I don't even want to hear you speak, because you don't ever say shit.
Right. No, it's funny you say that because I actually have given that feedback at work recently where I basically said, nobody fucking cares what you're It's the same thing we talked about last week.
You don't have anything to talk about.
You don't have to
You just
speak.
want to be heard.
Right.
And I don't want to hear you.
Right.
I don't want to hear anybody.
To be honest.
Especially if it's information that I don't need, then I instantly get that. What the fuck am I?
That's what we talked about last week. Like, one of the skill sets and the reasons I've been able to move up is I've learned like what people care about. And I know my audience and I know what they're going to give a fuck about.
And clearly you don't know how to turn corporate America off, you fucking interviewer. Fuck these questions.
Whatever, this is good content. Fuck you.
What's your favorite sex position?
Favorite sex position? Doggy. Easy.
Doggy?
Yeah. It's the only way to finish.
I'm going to say legs closed mish.
Legs closed missionary? I'm assuming that means her legs.
Right. I mean, regularly, aren't yours?
No, we've got the full pretzel going on, man. Our legs are intertwined. Locked.
Sometimes you gotta get that Frogger, that toe action, and spread them out a little bit, but I prefer your legs closed and let me get in the Frogger. You feel me? Because then you're at that different angle. And
it's definitely...
like you're pointing down, so you get that flicking the bean action as you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, it's not a in, it's a Like, we know it's up is where you want to be, but that still...
No doubt.
Gets the job done.
Well, that's the same. Like, that's the variant on doggy as well. Like, prone, basically.
But see,
where she's flat and legs closed and...
Well, that's one of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you to be on your knees.
That's a G-spot thing. I love... Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. My favorite is still all fours. Like, I've got hips and I am driving.
I mean, like, that's... I feel like... Honestly, I feel like that's more for her than me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really get... I'm not really getting much.
See, that's one of like the few positions where I know I'll get off.
Yeah, no.
If I'm getting off that night at all, like, that's the way to get there.
Yeah, I don't
anymore. Sometimes I just get tired, and you know what? I don't care anymore. It was different. It was different when I was only getting sex once a month. Like, I'd be mad if I didn't finish. Now I'm like, there's always tomorrow.
I mean, I gotta hope I finish anyway.
I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Listen.
Moving on.
And even that's speculation.
Allegedly. The lawyer lady up there in the booth is telling me to say allegedly.
And even that is speculation. Oh yeah, go ahead and interview me. Fucking.
You better be careful. I'll go down and I'll get our interview books from work.
Right. Next he's gonna be fucking asking for a PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's actually what I would like you to do, Cliff. I need you to spend the next 10 minutes while I talk about Boba Fett putting together a PowerPoint, and you're gonna come back and present to our audience. Mm-hmm. What's one thing you did where the risk was well worth the reward? Let me know if I need to push the allegedly button before you talk.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, I don't think I've taken enough risks lately.
Well, we're older now. We're wiser.
I don't think it matters.
I think the types of risks we take are different than what they would have been 15 years ago.
I think it should depend. And I know that sounds weird, but I think it should depend. I think it should depend on the potential reward. just because the only reason why I say that
I'm getting ready to push the button. Go ahead.
I mean, you can push it allegedly all you want. I'm being honest. I think it depends. I think because listen, I mean, we talked about it, right? Depending on what you're attempting to do in life, nothing for anybody who has anything has been accomplished without something underhanded taking place.
Yeah, usually it's mommy and daddy gave them $250,000 to start a business, but go ahead.
Well, that's not underhanded. That's not underhanded. That's just a handoff,
right,
if you will. But what did mommy and daddy do to get that money to be able to give
Fair.
you? You feel what I'm saying? And what I'm getting at is, depending on where it is you want to be or what it is that you're trying to achieve, you have to understand that the very people that wrote the laws for you made those exact same decisions. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay for them to do those things because they are the lawmakers. But then it's not okay for you to do the same thing that they do because they made the law.
Gotcha.
That's where it's like, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. What's the outcome? If this is an outcome that can have you set for life, and the risk may not be something that's taken away from your specific morality, go for it. I don't give a fuck if it's rob a bank. Go for it. You know what I mean? But if that's that's the decision you have to make with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you on that.
But I'm not going to be the guy that's going to say that's off limits because they told me it is.
Okay.
Give a fuck who you are. Those are your limits that they're off of. My limits aren't those limits.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I would rob a bank. But...
but Cliff's going to rob a bank.
Allegedly.
Listen, I'm not going to say I wouldn't rob a bank. And I'm keeping that a buck, you know? If we got a fucking Sandusky joint where it's only one teller and one security guard and they are just slipping on they pimping and the owner don't, listen, he's on some bullshit and he ain't, listen, I'm just saying, how big is the risk? How big is the reward?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fair. Now, taking it back to what the question was, what's something where the risk, not necessarily even the last, something in your life in the past that where the risk was worth the reward? I mean, is it the game? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's fair. I figured that would be your answer.
Yeah, and I mean that's essentially what I was saying. You know,
no, I know exactly what
robbing
you're
a bank was an example. But yeah, I mean, that's always going to be the case, right? Because, and that's also what I was getting at when I was saying these motherfuckers do it.
Right.
Motherfucking pharmacies are charging motherfuckers for the same drug that is killing the motherfucker. But then you'll go to jail for 20 years for selling a drug on the street.
Right.
Fuck y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. That's how I feel about it. So, you know, if that does not affect your specific morals, if that doesn't stop you from sleeping at night,
right,
handle your business, my G. I don't judge. Because the bottom line is the same thing that farmers saying is, if I don't, somebody else going to.
Yeah.
They ain't going to stop using it. And if this is helping feed your kids, keep feeding them.
Right. I don't disagree.
Biden out there handing out crack pipe packages and shit. That's saying a lot. If the president's handing out drug packages, then what the fuck do you mean?
Right.
While Big Pharma's making billions, trillions a year, and you get put in jail for making a few $1,000 a month. Listen, while your job's only willing to pay you $1,500 a month.
Right.
Man, fuck y'all and y'all's morals. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said, I don't think I take enough risks now. And not all from a legal standpoint, just in general. Whether they do be legal, even if they are illegal, I don't think I take enough risks now. I think the fact that we feel like we're older and we have to start, that just means that your risk got to be more calculated. But that doesn't mean you stop making them, because ultimately, if you stop taking chances, if you stop making leaps of faith,
right? No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Now, I've never been one to take big leaps of faith, period. So my stuff has always been cold calculated.
See?
I mean, honestly, the biggest leap of faith I took, and this is a cheap answer, was fucking getting married. Like,
see,
that was not something,
crazy,
that's
right?
not something, like...
I get what you're saying, but I don't feel like that should be a leap of faith.
But it was, like, and it was... The issues that were present at the start were what factored in at the end. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, there were red flags early on that ended up being the downfall of that relationship. And you know what? The reward was worth it because I got Andrew.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be something,
But that's what it was.
But the bottom line is, that's why it shouldn't be a leap of faith. You know what I mean?
No, it shouldn't be.
So what I'm getting at essentially is, like, people are so quick to want to be in relationships but not want to do what it takes to be in the relationship. And especially when you are a woman to a man, regardless of if it sounds misogynistic or sexist or out of the times, you're meant to be that man's peace. Period. You're meant to be that man's peace. If you're not that man's peace, then he's not going to be anything you need him to be for you.
No doubt.
Period, point blank. It starts with you. I mean, as the woman, it starts with you. You're the leader.
You're supposed to be.
Right. Well, right. You're the leader. We're just the soldiers. We just do the shit.
Right.
But essentially, you're the one that tells us what you want done.
Right.
And either we accomplish it through, means of finance or whatever we can. But as far as the plan, the goal, whether or not you have the keys to the ship, you're still the one driving it. Well, you should be.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
You feel me? And that's why I'm so quick to be like, bitch. And that's why, not to put it like that, but that's why pussy gets tossed underhanded. I mean, it does. You know what I'm saying? When you say, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. Like, that's just not, no. And then the more you say no, the more it's softball. And that's my whole thing is don't get me wrong, I'm not even now we talking risk, and maybe I done took enough of these motherfuckers. Because it's like,
the opinions and views expressed here.
Listen, I don't know, I took enough of them motherfuckers, because it's like, if I can't even see you being my peace, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because you don't have nothing else to offer me. I don't care if it's money. I don't care what it is. If you can't be my peace, what do I want you around for? I don't need help.
Right.
I can live like this for the rest of my life and would not feel bad about it. So I definitely don't need you to live like this for the rest of my life.
Well, and I think the thing for me, too, and I don't mean this to come off as crass because it's really not meant to sound that way, but something I thought was difficult to find for the last 10 years isn't.
What,
like,
pussy?
Exactly. Like, sex. And, like, that's easier to find than I ever would have imagined.
That's
so.
That's what I'm saying. That's always going to be perspective, and it's always going to be... Let me stop. Let's just say it's always going to be perspective.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm not going to say anything...
Well, no, you crave what you don't have, or what you're not getting, and once you have it, it's kind of like, okay, you know, this is an element that was missing. It doesn't mean that, like, there weren't good things or that there weren't other things that were wrong, but, like, flat out, like, cool. I can handle everything else on my own.
I've never really been a hypersexual person, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, if I like you, I'll want to have sex a lot, but I'm just not the kind of person that's, you know, by myself. Like,
not like sex motivated.
Like, or I ain't had ass in a while. Let me, like, nah, that's not how I work.
No, I get that, and it's not like, and you know, it's not like I'm trolling the apps just for every piece I can find. No, it's not that at all.
You don't have to explain it to me, and if you'd like to explain it to whomever's listening, go right on ahead. but you said it, right? Like, you said it. Like, when you're, it's like a starving boy, right? And then you unleash him on a buffet table. Of course he's gonna get sick. He hadn't eaten.
Right.
So he's gonna gorge.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you don't have to explain yourself to me by any means, you know what I'm saying? I'm just...
What's the line about the two bulls, the old one and the young one? The young one's like, let's go down there and fuck one, and the older one turns to him and says, nah, let's walk down and fuck them all. There's something to be said with that. Like, calm.
Right.
To your point, if you don't act like you need it, it's easier to find.
Listen, I don't want it. As much as I know I want it, I know I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you'll come across somebody and you think to yourself, like, oh, they're attractive, and, you know, like, they giving me a little something. Like, I might be able to, but then you think to yourself, like, do you want it, though?
Yeah.
Like, okay, and I don't mean to sound, I guess I sound how I sound. I've never had a female that I wanted, that you'd be like, oh, I want her. That I've gotten, that I haven't felt like I fucked up afterwards.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's the whole predator thing.
Like, I should not have
you enjoy the hunt, but then once you get the kill, you're like,
why did I do that? Like,
this isn't as good as I thought it would be, right?
And it could have been great sex, right? But now, laying in the aftermath, you know what's next.
Yeah.
You know, as much as people said there weren't going to be emotions involved, they're involved.
Yeah.
As much as you were on this level before, now they're expecting more calls.
Yeah.
It's like all that, and it's just like, unless that was the person that you thought was going to be a piece, why go through it with them?
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair call out.
That's how mistakes get made. And I make a lot of them, and I know I'll continue to, right? But the more I acknowledge down the line, as opposed to immediate gratification,
right?
Then I stop myself from making a lot of the mistakes. Now, so like I said, I've made mistakes and I will continue. But if I bit on every bone that was thrown across me, I could only imagine mistakes.
The mistakes that would be made.
We're quantifying mistakes. Right. Can't afford to do that.
No, I hear you.
On to our next question.
$400, $500 a pop, I think, right?
Ooh.
Nothing.
What?
Mistakes.
Mistakes. Man, they could cost you that a month.
Oh man.
Oh shit. Where we at? Okay.
Oh, is it your turn to ask a question?
Oh no, did you? Who asked last? I don't know.
I think I did. I think that was the risk
Whoever
question.
asked first asked last.
I think you got it. I think it's in your court, sir.
Is it? Let's pitch a softball. Favorite restaurant?
Ooh. Right now, probably it's either B&K or Cap City.
What's B&K?
B&K Smokehouse. Right down the road.
I don't think I've had that.
We had it at my bachelor party. That was what we had catered.
Now, you know,
I know you don't remember my bachelor party, but
especially food at it.
It was food before we went anywhere.
You know, I very rarely eat a lot.
That's true. You probably didn't have much. But B&K's up there, and then Cap City Diner's probably the other one. What about you?
I've been hearing good things about Cap City. I never went there, though.
It's a little pricey for what it is, but it's good.
I heard.
It's good.
See, I'm a ghetto dude, right?
Well, that's B&K.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because, like, I remember, like, I've gone with, like, my stepdad and my mom for, like, their birthday dinners and shit, or
Red Lobster?
like
Olive Garden? I thought that's where you were going.
No, the reason why I said I was ghetto is because I said I've gone with them to their spots and they'll pay $100-something a plate.
Gotcha.
And not eat
So,
like other shit like Outback and be like, give me the Outback over this expensive ass shit. They don't even taste good to be as much as y'all.
What's the big?
Paying.
What's the big steak joint?
McCormick and Schmick.
Yeah, that's one. Is it J. Alexander's? Is probably the one I'm thinking of.
I like that one. That might be one of my favorites, actually.
They're pretty solid.
That race.
And they're not like favorites. Top end in terms of price, but the McCormick and Schmidt's is.
Right. Yeah, J. Alexander's is like mid tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
Just take me to Texas Roadhouse, get me a 64-ounce steak.
Listen, and blooming onion, baby. And I'm out. Give a fuck about y'all's $100 plates. I just spent that with the tip and drinks included, baby. Yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, I think I might have to go with J. Alexander. I think that's... Yeah, either that or Outback. That's J. Alexander or Outback. Those are my two. And I can't even think of the spot that I'm talking about that they went to, man. I seen that motherfucking receipt, and I said,
God damn!
I'm not coming back out with y'all. I'm not coming back out with y'all because y'all could have gave me that. You feel me? Y'all could have gave me that for my meal. I could have got McDonald's and pocketed the $115 that you spent on that plate.
Yeah.
I could have got a Big Mac and had some money left over. That's what I could have did. All right, what you got?
Which of your tattoo pieces is your favorite and why?
Which?
Yeah. Which of your tattoos is your favorite? Or which one means the most to you?
Probably the Karma's a Bitch. My daughter's footprint. That's probably the Yeah, I'd probably say that's my favorite.
Good deal.
And
it's an equally soft toss for you.
Yeah, that was a pretty soft one. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. Spirit animal. What's your spirit animal?
I mean, that was the reason for this one.
Oh, the wolf.
The wolf. Just fine on its own, but it's meant to be in a pack. Has no problem surviving on its own, but is probably stronger with the pack.
Okay.
What about you?
I think I'm gonna have to go, ironically, with the Wolverine.
Honey Badger don't care.
Right. You are stupid. You are stupid. I think I am. I'm gonna have to go with the Wolverine just because it does what it wants. It's underestimated.
Right.
You know, until you take the chance, and then it's like, well, shit. You ain't know that motherfucker could take a bear down, did you?
Right. Right. I'm sorry. I've been going back and forth with somebody on like the Honey Badger video lately. And all I can think of is when the honey badger comes back out of the bush with like the goat's head in its mouth.
That's what
honey badger don't give a fuck.
They just vicious. They're vicious. And the funny thing is, they're just cool. They just prance around like nothing's wrong. You know?
Yeah. They're like, nah,
like they're friendly and everything. Until like, right, you follow it into a bush. Yeah, I think that would have to be. I feel like I'm a ball of fun until you follow me into a bush. You know? That's how it goes.
I think that was one of my... Never mind.
It's been a lot of never mind. It's been a lot of redacted statements in this podcast.
Correction. I had sex with Katie.
Listen.
Oh, man. No, that's how the bad ones end. It was all fine until I followed into her bush. I mean, the bush.
Listen, usually if she goes in first, she's going to be by herself. I like to trail my own path, blaze my own path.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right. What you... Oh, wait. No, that was your question?
That was my question.
All right. I think I know the answer to this one. Would you rather be hated or forgotten when you die?
Forgotten.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to be hated. Who wants to be hated? I mean, I really guess I don't care. I guess the question would be...
Why were you hated?
Not even, I guess it would be by who.
Yeah.
You know? I don't care if I'm hated by people I don't know.
Right.
I don't know you. I don't give a fuck. But I wouldn't want to be hated by the people I held close.
Yeah. But if you held them close, do you want to be forgotten?
We all are eventually.
That's true.
And I think that's another thing that we get hung up on as human beings is remembering instead of celebrating. Like everybody says, give me my flowers while I'm here. But it's not in us to.
Yeah.
As human beings, it's not in us to celebrate a motherfucker while they're here.
Right.
Because we have to lose something to find value in it.
True. Or not have it. Yeah.
Right. And once that show is canceled or that person is dead, then you start missing what you used to have. And then that's when the remembrance comes, you know? But, like, we only here for a handful of years. I don't give a fuck what happens after I go.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I actually would agree.
And then, like, you don't know, God forbid, your motherfuckers might have dementia.
Yeah.
You could be forgotten while you're still here.
Absolutely.
So why would I
right.
care what happens
after I'm gone? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take forgotten.
I also got a text correcting us on Schmitz. A text correcting us on Schmitz and McCormick.
Oh.
Smith and Walensky.
Who's Smith? Who did we say?
Schmitz and McCormick.
Who's that?
I have no fucking idea. Schmitz is the sausage house down in German Village.
Oh yeah, I know what you.
But I don't know where McCormick came from.
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah. And what did she say it was?
Smith and Walensky.
Okay.
She might be helping us out and telling us what Schmitz and McCormick said.
Or is it McCormick and Schmidt? I don't know. Somebody, give me something. I don't know how you get that from nowhere.
Oh, man. All right, so is that was mine. You're back up.
Yeah, no, McCormick and Schmick is the steak and seafood spot.
Oh, okay. We just got it backward.
Yeah.
All right. We're good then.
Yeah, I knew that. I don't know about Smith and Walensky now. That's
no, Smith and Walensky is like a place where you're not getting out of there for like $1,000.
Oh, really? Well, I wouldn't even know that. So
no, but I mean, like they have like a $500 steak kind of deal. The only reason I know that is because there is a. I actually got invited to go there with a vendor, and I was not feeling it.
Yeah, no, about that. Fuck all that.
But you are correct. All right, so what you got? By the way, we're right at the 2-hour mark, so when we call these the last questions.
Rock, paper, or scissors?
Depends who I'm playing. If it's Andrew, I know I'm going paper first. I try to go based on the personality type of the person I'm going against.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you don't have any...
Nope. I adapt based on my opponent. That's why I'm a defensive coordinator.
So you don't in the game want to play?
Nope.
You ain't no good defensive coordinator. You're supposed to lead them into the decision. You make the decision for them. Okay. I'm going paper.
Paper.
Paper. It's vulnerable.
Okay.
Think you can't win, so you don't expect it to be thrown out for the win. I'm going paper. I'm gonna rock you to sleep. I'm throwing paper on you.
Paper's a good intro one. People who are aggressive are usually throwing rock or scissors.
Yep, we're gonna go rock 3 times in a row. Then you're gonna see somebody go scissors. They'll never go rock the paper. I go rock the paper.
All right. I feel you.
They're gonna go rock the scissors because they're thinking that 3 rocks in a row, and you're gonna throw paper to try to beat my rock. So they go scissors on you.
I like how you have this all planned out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sequence. It's chess.
It's always 3 rocks in a row.
Move.
If you don't hit 3 rocks in a row, or at least 2 rocks in a row out the gate, then keep throwing paper. Paper it is.
All right, here's my last one, and you'll already know probably my answer to this. If you could go,
boy shorts.
Boy shorts always.
Yeah, boy shorts. I'm with that.
But looking back at your life, what's one event that you would like to change and see how your life is different? Not necessarily saying you live that other life, but you at least have the opportunity to see it.
I don't want to.
So think about the simulation and like you've been rebooted. What's another path you'd want to see? No?
No, I don't want to see any other path if I can't live it.
All right, well, let's flip it then. Make it a simulation. You come back, you die, you come back, same life, everything is the same, but you get to change one thing about it. To see how it plays out from there. You're in God mode. You get to create, you get to ensure that whatever the outcome that you want changed is changed.
No changes.
None?
No changes.
Okay.
Yeah, no changes. Now, I'm not saying that if you didn't give me a chance to redo my life, something doesn't change. But no changes.
Even if it was an external event. Something that wasn't necessarily directly, you weren't directly involved in, but had an impact on you.
No changes. Yeah, no changes. And I always think that too. Like, I think, like, when I think about, like, life after, or whatever the case, or if there's a possibility of reincarnation, or, you know, whatever the case may be, I always think to myself, I don't want to be anybody but me.
I hear you on that.
I don't want any changes. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, it could be in a different environment, but I would prefer to have the same father, the same mother, the same situation, and make the changes in that as opposed to changing something to change my situation. Because I feel like I have been given all of the tools needed to succeed. It's just the decisions that I've made that have put me in positions that I'm currently in. Yeah. So, if anything, maybe some decisions get changed.
Okay.
But nothing, I don't want anything. I want the same genetics. I want the same... You could give me the same height and all that. I don't care. I don't want...
That's where I'm thinking more like an event. Like a pivot point where your life went down one path versus another. And it, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you had direct control over. I mean, the answer for me is my dad.
Right.
Like, I would want to see what life would have been like if he hadn't passed away at 42 of a heart attack. And he died of, you know, natural causes at 80 or something.
Shorthand, I guess I would just say sports.
Yeah.
In general. Nothing specific, just sports. I think I would have... stayed in it longer. I don't necessarily know what that changes, but I know that it gets the aggression out.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that.
Because there is still, like, aggression and energy, I would say, and childish energy that's still in me that I can't get out. And maybe you don't want it out, you know?
Yeah.
You just want it. I don't want to say controlled, because that would give off the indication that I don't have control. But I guess at bay, you know what I mean? Like, somebody who finished their plate usually doesn't come back for seconds.
Yeah.
But the person that throws their plate away ends up wanting more food. And I feel like I threw my plate away with food still on it, and now the hunger
is setting in.
Right. It's still there for something.
I think that was my big reason behind my decision to go and play college ball at the D3 level, because I had always said, like, coming out of high school, like, unless I am going X, like, unless I am getting into an Ivy League school to play football, like, I don't know that I want to play Division III. And when I got hurt my senior year, I was like, I cannot let that be my last game.
Right. But see, even shit like that kind of makes me feel like I don't even know if that's the truth, too, because at the same time, I wouldn't have went to college.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have went to college outside getting like a scholarship, like a real life scholarship, and even still I'd have been like one of them people that have been like,
there
what's
for a
the
year
easiest
and then
shit
out.
that I can do while I'm here, right? But I'm not here for this.
Yeah.
Nor will I put any time or effort into it.
No, and I mean,
I've
seen that play out. Like, we had the 3 or 4 all-state players that year that we, won the playoff game and like made it to the second round. Only one of those guys is still playing. Only our linebacker's still playing.
All right.
Quarterback, gone. Offensive lineman, gone. Linebacker's still playing.
Yeah, no.
He might actually make the league, but.
Well, wait. You're talking about high school.
Yeah.
On the high school
I'm talking
team.
about Wyoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you were thinking about when you played. I was about to say, how the fuck is that motherfucker about to make the league? That
No.
Getting out of it.
Coaching. All right, man. That was good shit. I think that was a fun episode. You don't like my corporate style interviews? Those are fine.
No, I don't.
I think it led to some good conversation.
It could have.
It could have? I think it did.
It could have.
You're going to go back and listen to it? You'll let me know in the morning?
I'll have to listen back and tell you that.
I mean, that's fair.
Right.
All right, well, you got anything to take us out, sir?
Jisms.
I thought that was an intro, but that's a takeout now? All right.
Taking it out with a little tiz and a little jizz.
Well, are you guys still doing a show tomorrow? Or are you pausing it for Sunday?
I've been thinking about hopping on for 15 just to make sure the YouTube is
all working.
Right.
All right, well,
I don't see a need in starting a live stream without at least giving a topic.
Yeah.
So I might hop on tomorrow.
Just to make sure the Adesanya fight's tomorrow, isn't it?
That's after, though.
True.
I mean, no.
You don't want to do a pre-fight? All right. Well, then catch us on Sunday after the Super Bowl. We'll be going live with Hit the Showers. Still on the same YouTube channel, same Facebook page, different podcast stream. With all of that, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe, rate, comment, all that shit. We are so close to 100 subscribers on YouTube. So close. We're like 6 short.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
And tell that friend to tell a friend.
And we'll make sure that all the hosts have actually liked all the pages as well. With that, peace out, fools.